That feeling when you're not seated next to your best friend. Alright, so let's dive right in. I don't know what Rooster Teeth is doing comedy-wise. Like, they have several moments of comedy throughout this episode, but, like, none of it's actually funny. Maybe you found it funny? I didn't think so, because they seem to just resorting to boingy, loud cartoon sound effects and, like, super wackadoo animations. There's no joke. It's just silly cartoon-style stretchiness. I don't understand why. And they're also, they're sandwiching the whole episode. Like, it's constantly just like, laugh at this, please. And it's not funny, and I don't think a show like RWBY necessarily needs comedy thrown throughout it all the time either. It's supposed to be an action, fun show with lighthearted elements. We don't need, like, non-stop comedy thrown down our throats. Especially if it's not even gonna be funny. Like this scene. This is an important scene. This dude is telling us about Hill, which I was right. Her name is Hill, and it is a girl. Which I kind of thought, but I was like, you know what? Let's not assume. But, yeah, he's telling us about Hill, and her, the Robin Hood equivalent of this world, and her happy huntresses. Get it? Robin, Hill, Robin Hood, happy huntresses, merry man. It's very on the nose. Who has yet to actually show up in the show, which is a little weird. But he's telling us about her, and she's obviously going to be an important character. She's in the opening. She's fighting alongside Crow, who has a new outfit, which I didn't notice that first time I watched. He's telling us about her. He's establishing this important character, but they ruined this whole scene by having these, like, bing bong, boing, like, sound effects throughout the whole thing. Why try to set up a character who's going to be that important, but have the scene be comedic and goofy like this at the same time? It makes no sense, but RWBY has also always suffered and struggled with proper tone throughout their series.
We'll follow your lead, RWBY.
I follow RWBY's lead. She's, like, the worst at social situations. Why not Jean or Ren or literally Weiss? Literally anyone other than the girl whose response to being recognized was,
"You know us?"
I don't find it all that surprising that Winter, Penny, and the Aesops all know about the relics and maidens and stuff. Like, Crow has been traveling around getting his little crew of kids to fight for him. Why wouldn't, Ironwood do the same? It makes sense.
Unless we destroy her.
Ugh, again with the destroying her shit. Why is that the only word people use? It's like, that was the word Ozpin used in his flashback, and that's we gotta destroy her. I mean, like, they've said death and kill and whatever before. Also, is that really the only thing people think of? Destruction, destroy, no other options? Okay, so, am I, like, the only one who agrees with Ironwood here? Like, I understand where he's coming from. He's not being malicious about it. It's like, he's in dad mode. He's being a parent. It's like, if you have a child and they try to climb a tree and they fall and they break their arm, you're gonna not want them climbing trees anymore. It's that kind of, he's in a parent mentality. He's not malicious, he's not doing anything wrong, he's just in dad mode. Ironwood goes into dad mode, sign off the dad mode alarms.
You are my dad, you're my dad, woogie woogie woogie.
And, like, I agree, we should tell the people. The only reason it might cause a panic is because they kept it a secret for so long in the first place. If they made it common knowledge in the beginning, then we don't have to worry about this now when the population's a lot bigger and there's, like, better weapons and killing things and whatever. I think telling the people is a good idea, and honestly, I see nothing wrong with Ironwood's plan, because, yeah, their army is there to make sure everything goes fine when they reveal the information to Atlas. And then Winter explains they're going to be there for the other kingdoms when they tell the other kingdoms. I don't see anything malicious or evil about Ironwood's plan, and the fact that the kids do raises some red flags. I feel like it's going to be another, like, oh, he was evil the whole time, but they shouldn't think that. There's nothing other than, like, yes, there will be panic. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and in fact, the kids don't trust him so much from the get-go. Makes me think they won't handle this villainous twist with Ironwood very well throughout the story. But I'm gonna be hopeful. Maybe the kids will be wrong, and I'm right, and Ironwood's plan is flawless. I'm gonna call it right now. The final fight of the volume is gonna take place on Amity Coliseum. Let's put it down in the history books. This is what I declare. This is my prophecy. I also think the plan of turning the Coliseum into a giant satellite CCT tower is really smart. Like, it makes sense. Beacon's in turmoil. All of Vale is in turmoil. And, like, travel communication across countries is non-existent because one tower fell. But with this, that would be resolved. The only problem would be if that one tower fell also. Then we'd be back in this situation. But if they can build it once, they can rebuild it. If they can rebuild Penny, they can rebuild a tower. And then this way, they don't need to, like, try to fight through the hordes of Grimm who's in, you know, Beacon right now. It's a smart plan. Again, I don't see anything wrong with what Ironwood is planning. Like I said, I don't think telling the people about Salem is a bad thing, because yeah, there's gonna be people who panic and whatever, Grimm, blah blah blah. We can stop the Grimm. They're not a threat. They've never been a threat. We can stop them easily. But on top of that, then you have the entire world as an army you can use to fight her and her forces. It's not going to be our ragtag group of kids trying to fight Salem's people anymore. It's going to be the world. And I think that is... I understand what Ironwood's coming from. That is the plan, and that makes more sense. Keeping it secret is not a benefit in the long run.
You are my dad. You're my dad. Wookie, wookie, wookie.
Oh my god, RWBY, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, take the dude who is the most paranoid person you've ever met, and who's the most emotionally fractured at this point in time, and then just lie about everything to him? And I don't know why. This can only be a detriment for our heroes in the long run. Lying to him isn't fixing anything. It's not going to change his plan about the Coliseum. All that's going to happen is he's going to find out the truth, going to get pissed, paranoid, scared, and fight back. That's the only fucking thing that's going to happen. And that's the only reason the kids are lying, because for some arbitrary reason that we're not told as the audience member, they don't trust Ironwood. Like, it's so stupid on RWBY's part, and the only reason no one says anything is because Blake was like, "We're gonna trust you, RWBY." It's dumb, and I don't like the fact that we're skipping over things. If we're not supposed to trust Ironwood, then tell me we're not supposed to trust Ironwood. They say the Grimm's gonna attack and things will fall apart, but they don't know that. And also, the Grimm has never been a threat. Kids in high school killed the Grimm in mass, so lying to Ironwood makes no fucking sense to me. And then Ironwood gives the lamp back because he's a good person, and then you're just gonna betray his trust even more.
What happened to no more lies and half-truths?
But all the questions were used up already.
So we all saw that in the opening, Jean, his shield gets hard like dust, so it becomes a bigger shield. That's fine. I hope he gets some sort of projectile in his sword, because right now he's really, really limited, especially against long-range enemies. I hope he gets, like, a hard light gun thing in his sword, like Legend of Zelda-ass lasers. You know what I'm talking about. Don't you love how they introduce the Aesops to us, but they don't tell us any of their names except for this one girl?
Not everything's a competition, Hare.
Well, don't worry. I went through and I figured out who their names are. Because I'm a good person. These are their names. This is them. You can figure it out now. I wish this is the scene we introduced them to us. Just tell us, but oh well, whatever. I did the hard part for you. So I don't usually talk about voice acting because it's not really my area of expertise. Just like how I don't talk about music all that often. I don't understand it enough to properly criticize it and talk about how it could do better. But I will say this one girl, not a fan of her performance.
Exactly why I'm looking forward to seeing what you kids can do.
She has one line and she kind of mumbles her way through it. Maybe she's better. Maybe this was just a stepping stone, but it didn't thrill me. Oh god, what are you doing with the animation here? Like, this is what I was saying earlier. It's supposed to be comedy, but like, is this joke? Is this a joke? Is this funny? It's not. It's just half-assed animation, and they're pretending, because it doesn't look like the normal animation, it's funny. Like earlier, Weiss did a spin shit thing to RWBY. It's like, the joke! Why would she do that? RWBY had fallen. Why spin her when she stands up? Why half-ass the animation here? It's not funny. And I can tell that they're thinking it's funny, but it's not. And the fact that they're insisting on this kind of comedy throughout the entirety of this episode is just so annoying because it's not funny and it's just distracting. This kind of animation, this half-assed animation, is not funny. It doesn't lend itself to any kind of joke. It just pulls me out of the episode because of how different and jarring it is. Come on, go back to school. Enroll back in school. I was the only one who said anything about it. It's on my bingo board. This would be amazing if they actually enrolled in school again. Come on, Penny. Come on, let's do this.
It'll be just like bacon again!
So I feel like this is going to be kind of like a theme for the volume. It's just like Beacon again, but it can't be. Penny's going to try to make it like that fun. Like, they had fun. Volumes 1 through 3, they had fun, but the world is different now. Pyrrha's dead. We know about the monsters of the world, so we know about Salem. And the idea is, it can't be like Beacon again. Because I know a lot of people ask to go back to that kind of setting, but the way the show has gone, we can't. It cannot feel the same way anymore. And I think this is going to be basically the Penny arc of this volume. She's going to have to realize that it's not going to be like how it used to be, no matter how much she wants it to be. So I was thinking about it from last time, and I was thinking about it throughout this episode after I watched it, and I couldn't help but notice that there's a couple of people missing. Now, who are those people, you may ask? Well, they are... Like, we see Watson Tyrion, and they do stuff, but, like, where is everyone else? We spent all that time setting up Cinder and Neo and Emerald and Mercury and Salem. Where is the villains? And that's the problem with storytelling. Okay, so the first episode of this volume was supposed to be the last episode of Volume 6, which makes sense. The stinger of, well, our heroes have been arrested is a lot more compelling than the stinger of, why is Atlas an Atlas? I don't understand. Like, it makes sense. And I guess the theory would be rearrange things around. Neo and Cinder's outfit reveal would have been in the beginning of last episode, and then we have the stinger with Salem. And then we would have seen our villains at the end of last season, but this season we just see Watson Tyrion. And that's why I said last time I don't know what the plot is, because a plot is what the heroes are doing and what the antagonists are doing in tandem of each other. And even though we see Watson Tyrion, I don't know what they're doing. Why are they in Atlas? Who did they kill? What is their plan? Rooster Teeth has the tendency, and this is true for all their shows, has the tendency that you don't know what the villain is doing until they're doing it. Like, yes, Cinder says, we're gonna go to Haven, but her plan is kill the maiden, steal the relic, but we don't know that until she's actually doing it. And I can understand the idea of, like, trying to keep it a surprise, like there's some sort of twist at the end. I just watched Legend of Korra, Kuvira. Her giant mech shows up, that was a twist, that was a surprise, no one was expecting that, but we knew what her goal was, what her ultimate end goal was, unite the Earth Kingdom. And the fact that I have no idea what Watson and Tyrion are doing in Atlas, I have no idea what Cinder and Neo are going to do in Atlas, I have no idea what the rest of them all are going to do at all. Are they going to go to Atlas? What is happening? And the fact that we're so lost on what our villains' plans are has always been a detriment for RWBY. So, Tyrion kills someone, obviously. And I've seen a lot of people theorize that it's Penny's dad, Pietro? I've heard a lot of theories that it's him, and I don't think that's true. A, because Maria's there, and I don't think they'd kill off Maria like that. And B, I think Pietro would have, like, a Penny come home button, like a thing like, yo, daddy's in trouble, come save me kind of thing. So I don't think it was them, I actually think it was the Winter Maiden, because earlier Winter said the Winter Maiden is in stabilized order, and then they alluded to her being much older, like a sick, older lady. My theory for what our plan is for this volume, Tyrion just killed the Winter Maiden, and now we have to find the new Winter Maiden. I don't know why Tyrion would kill the Winter Maiden, because wouldn't it make more sense to capture her? But I don't know, maybe killing her made it easier to capture her new form afterwards. That's my theory. I could be totally wrong. I'm usually wrong. So, my thoughts on the episode as a whole, I really do, honestly, I really do like that scene with Ironwood talking to the kids, and then at the end when we see Tyrion and Watts. I like those scenes. Those were good, strong, compelling scenes. It's just the completely unfitting comedy that leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Like, each of those scenes are sandwiched by really bad, goofy comedy, and I hate it. It's not funny. It adds nothing to the scene. I have no interest in the Aesops, because they didn't tell me anything. They just try to, this is a joke. Here's another joke. Isn't this funny? No, it's not funny. Give me these characters. I want to know who there's 5 whole brand new characters I gotta try to figure out, and you waste this entire scene introducing them to me for dumbass, stupid cartoon physics, spinning RWBY around comedy? Why would you do this? The comedy really ruined this episode for me, but the scenes I liked, I really did really like. Kinda disappointing as far as second episodes go. We still don't have any idea what our plot is. We still haven't gotten our new outfits yet. I was excited for this episode because I knew last one was supposed to be the end of the last volume, and this is supposed to be the beginning, but as far as beginnings go, nothing happened. It's still, I don't know, I'm directionless with this volume, and our characters, and I'd be lying if I said I was excited for next episode. I'm gonna watch it, I still want to see it, because I'm hoping it gets stronger, but this episode was a bit of a letdown, and it's mostly because the lack of story progression and just that comedy was just so bad. For being a show that does comedy, you think they'd actually be funny every now and then. So I don't mean to shit on the episode. It wasn't terrible. I'd hardly call it. I'd say, if anything, it was a 6 out of 10. Just a little boring, a little unfunny. But yeah, it's just, after how little we got last time, getting just as little this time was a bit of a disappointment. We'll have to see what happens next time. And if you liked this video, go ahead and subscribe to me, and go ahead and support me on Patreon. I have a bingo board. I mentioned it, obviously. No bingos this week. Sorry. Nothing crossed off yet. But if we get enrolled in school, I'm gonna cross that off for sure. And you know what? I'll see you next time, because I do want to see it. I'm hopeful, because I expect next time we actually get new outfits. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.